Hello, I'm Nick Coleman.
And I'm Graham Skaggs.
And welcome to the Masters of the Brandiverse.
Masters of the Brandiverse is a marketing podcast dedicated to bringing you the best marketing advice to business owners.
Are you at the point in your business where you've created a job for yourself? Well, in this episode, we do a deep dive into how to change that mentality from being someone who's created a job for themselves to being a job creator.
Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel.
And if you like what you hear, leave us a comment below. When you create a business, what you want to do is you want to actually create a business and not a job, right? So this is a struggle for a lot of entrepreneurs out there. And the reason is because when they start that business, what ends up happening is they have to do everything. And so because they have to do everything, a lot of times they have to work like 100+ hours because they're doing multiple jobs. But what ends up happening is because they're working 100 hours or more a week, it actually creates a habit because they have to do it for months in order to start building that business. And so now because it's become a habit, that sense of control has also become a habit as well. And so what you have to start doing is changing your mindset. So you have to change your mindset from, I am creating a business to I'm creating jobs, right? Because if you're in that mindset of I'm creating and I'm running a business, what you actually have done is you've created a job for yourself. But if you start getting into that mindset of I'm creating jobs, then what ends up happening is you'll start looking at these tasks and start going, okay, I need to delegate them. I need to delegate it out certain portions of this responsibility. And so then the next question after that, once you start getting into that mindset and you start looking at the responsibilities you need to hand out, the question that you have to ask is, if I give all of this responsibility to someone, if they leave, will it hurt my business? And if the answer is yes, then here's one tip that you can do in order to alleviate that pain. Right. So if there's all this responsibility, if you hand it down to one person, they leave, what you start doing is you break out that responsibility. So you say, okay, well, I'm going to give a quarter of this responsibility to this person. I'm going to give a quarter of this responsibility to this other person, to another person, to another person. So then what ends up happening is if that one person leaves, well, they're only taking a quarter of that responsibility with them. So here's an example of what I mean by that. So say you need to hire someone to sell your business. You need to do business development. Well, you have to start looking at the buyer's journey from the time that they have got into first contact with your business all the way through until the very end. So say you are a consulting company that, you're getting a client in to the door and you're doing consulting. So you have to start thinking, well, if I have this salesperson go out and meet somebody, well, if you give them all the responsibility at first, well, they'll meet them, they'll go through all of your products, your offering, they'll close them, they'll stay in contact with them, they'll start building that relationship with them. So if that salesperson leaves, well, guess what? They're going to take your client base with them. So what you start thinking about is, well, in my buyer's journey, when that person goes out to meet them, they're going to take them to one step of the buyer's journey. Then they're going to hand them off to another person. Then that person's going to take them another quarter of the way. Then they're going to hand them off to somebody else. And then at the very end, then they're going to be greeted by another person. So then what ends up happening is because that one salesperson can't take them all the way from the beginning to the end and continue that relationship with them, you've prevented a situation. If they leave, then they're taking your customers with them. So you got to get into the mindset of, I am creating jobs. I am not creating a job for myself.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So like a common problem that business owners face is after starting a business, very quickly it turns into 100, 120-hour weeks, trying to maintain this thing. Mm-hmm. And now they can't take vacation. Mm-hmm. They can't explore new relationships. Mm-hmm. And so what you're trying to...
well, they're taking 120 hours a week, not so much to maintain it, but because they're doing all of these jobs. Mm-hmm. And they think, well, I don't want to, first of all, pay someone. Well, we got to get out of that mindset because one, that creates a lack mindset. and you're not going to be able to scale and grow your business. If you're concerned with, I can't pay, you got to get into the mindset, I'm creating jobs so I can pay them in order to do this, so I can start thinking about the higher level of my business. So I can start taking on tasks that's going to make our business grow. But if you get into a mindset of, I can't pay anyone, I got to do all these jobs, well, guess what? That becomes the habit. Because you think that's just going to go away the minute that you start growing your business and it's making millions. That's not. Because you're always going to have this thought of, this business can only move forward if I'm an integral part of everything.
Yeah, and not only that, but because you're one person, you're probably not doing those jobs as well as a professional, which means that you're actually hurting your business, the quality of your work.
That's right. That's right. Or you can put in a system where you are training people properly. So you go, well, anybody that I bring in here, I'm going to equip them with the best type of knowledge and information to do this job well. If they leave, not a big deal, because I've put in a good training system that someone else can come in, train them, build them up. Same thing.
So a good habit a business owner can develop is to consistently ask, what would my business be like if I weren't here? And to create a business that could function and run with them not being there, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah, so they're not the bottleneck of the whole company.
That's right. Now, you bring up a good point. If you cannot leave your business for 2 months without it running great, then you've created a job for yourself, plain and simple. Because you think about some brands that are out there. The person who invented Johnson & Johnson, they're no longer here, and that business is still running. Coca-Cola, M&M. You can kind of go on and on with many different McDonald's, right? And it's because they've had that mindset from the start. I'm creating jobs. I'm not creating a job for myself.
Thanks for watching this episode, and if you liked what you heard, like and subscribe to our channel.
And if you have any thoughts, leave us a comment below.